Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Flights and Flicks. I'm really excited about this one, Ben. This is rock movies, fictional rock bands. It could just be rock based. I'm loving this one, and this was Ben's idea. I love it. If you guys don't know the concept of the show, we pick a movie, each of us, and then we go through 4 different aspects of that movie and choose a beer that helps us define what that aspect is. And what we're going to start with is story, character, filmmaker, and theme of the film. So without further ado, we're going to start with Ben. What is your film?
I picked 1984's Streets of Fire. It's this really great kind of cult film now, I think, and it's a rock opera of sorts. It's a rock and roll fable. It takes place in another time and another place, which is the first thing the film says. There's titles that say that, and it's kind of like if culture stopped advancing in the 50s, but now it's the 80s. So it's a mashup of 80s and 50s culture and a lot of greaser, fast car driving kind of music. It's really good.
The movie I selected is a piece of art. It's an abstract film noir that lots of people in film school love to dissect and talk about. And that's 1994's Airheads, starring Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, and the one and only Adam Sandler. I'm kidding. It's not abstract. It's not art. It's just funny and fun and oozes 90s. We're going to start with Ben, talk about the story and the beer you chose for your story, sir.
I chose Back in Black for its obvious rock and roll connotations. One of AC/DC's most famous songs. And it is an American IPA brewed with rich dark malt, 6.8%. And it comes from 21st Amendment Brewery. There we go.
Okay.
That works, yeah.
Never heard of that.
All right. I don't know what the 21st Amendment is.
That looks dark.
But it's delicious.
Yeah?
That's really good. I'm not normally a dark beer kind of guy.
Same.
I might have weird poops later for this, but it's worth it because it's real tasty. Malty. Good flavor. All right. Back in Black. I chose it for my story because this movie is some kind of weird child of neon and electric guitars and greaser cars. It's very rock and roll. The film starts with a musical number by Eileen. She's a local girl, did well, became a famous singer, and it is a banger, Ben. It's a real banger. There's so much good music in this movie, and even the era it came out in and the era it references are not decades. I listen to a lot of music, but Streets of Fire has an amazing soundtrack. So I thought in that being the story so rock heavy, that Back in Black would be a great beer for that.
Yeah, so go ahead, give a rundown.
This is a strong beer, by the way. I'm clearly already feeling it.
Wow, you liked it though. You nailed the whole
thing. It was
right.
really good. It was really good.
Excellent.
Another shot of this. The film literally starts by saying another time, another place. It's like an alternate timeline where the 50s is still cool in the 80s. The era, the culture and television and clothing of the Cold War era just stuck around through the future. But that's but with choreographed dance. It's really cool. Willem Dafoe and his gang shows up, the bombers, and they kidnap the girl and they take off. And then by happenstance, her ex-boyfriend rolls into town, just got out of the army. Cody is one of the just worst fucking lead heroes I've ever seen in a movie. But he's so fun to watch. Her current boyfriend, played by Rick Moranis, her manager, a hired gun of sorts, an ex-soldier named McCoy. They go after the gang. They go to rescue her. On the way, they pick up more people. The gang, their group gets bigger. They pick up an entire 4-piece kind of doo-wop group called the Sorrels. It's an odd kind of fantasy film. A lot of memorable characters. Really good cast.
So the beer I chose for story is called Showdown in Downtown, and it's a hazy IPA from a brewery, Ben, that I've chosen more than 2 or 3 times on the show, and it's Paperback. I just go back to them time and time again. Like there's something that speaks to me. It's almost like the Brewers like love movies or something. So I chose the name Showdown in Downtown because if you've ever seen Airheads, it's a really funny movie. It's, for lack of a better term, it's like dopey or goofy or whatever. But it's one of those almost like SNL movies. It has Chris Farley. There's other people too. I'm mistaking on some of their names. But Adam Sandler, obviously, yeah. Oh, and Michael McKean as well. And it's about this like band called the Lone Rangers, and they're pretty stupid people, but they're lovable and you love them. Come up with this cockamamie idea that if they can go to a radio station, hey, remember those? You could go there and play your single that you'll automatically just get signed. Because again, this is almost like your movie where it's this bizarro world where like if your single gets played on a radio station, then you're automatically going to get a record contract, which is not something anyone should strive to go do, especially the way they do it. Yeah. So the Lone Rangers decide to go to KPBX with water guns filled with pepper sauce, like a really hot sauce. They decide to, and these water guns look very realistic. And there's a nice piece of dialogue that explains why they can use these guns, because they took them out of the store because Rex works for a toy store, and he's like, yeah, we can't sell these guns. Like, kids are going to get shot with these guns. So they go to KPBX. And first, they just go and they break in and they say, like, I want you guys to play our song. And then everyone's like, fuck you guys. Who are you guys? Get out of here. So then they hold them up with these water pistols and everybody thinks it's real. And I love how the movie escalates. More and more fans start showing up to the radio station as the radio station has, over live air, made it known what's happening. That these clowns, this band, have shown up, but they've got demands. They need to get their tape so they could play it on the radio. A bunch of cops show up, and then you have all these like fans show up who don't even know why they're there because they don't really know the band. They just like this. This was a 90s things, folks. Like, people loved rebelling against anything, and it was just like a thing. All these people started showing up to the radio station in support of the Lone Rangers just because they were rebelling against whatever, like the radio stations or the way rock music was going. And it does take us a suspension of disbelief why there's no violence or rioting or anything like that when there's all these people and there's cops like barricading off the whole area. But it just makes the movie better because it's a goofy movie with a lot of fucking heart. So I chose Showdown in Downtown because to me, it was like, it's kind of like a goofy rock and roll comedy, Rio Bravo or something, So that's the beer I chose. It's a hazy IPA from Paperback. Showdown from Downtown. We're going to give it a try. I do like hazy IPAs. Oh, that's one of the better ones I've had in a while. It's really good. That's really, really good. It's got a maple flavor to it, a little bit of bitterness, but not extremely bitter. Hazies to me are never like the most bittery of bitter, even though a lot of people like to say that. I think that's great. I'm gonna do what you did, Ben, and I'm gonna polish it off.
Oh yeah. So let me talk about the character I chose for this part, and I chose the main character of the film, Tom Cody, and he is such a selfish prick. I don't understand why people like him. He, I guess, kind of begrudgingly does the right thing. He needs much prodding, and the actor who played him. Let me look at this guy's name again. Michael Perry. He like kind of looks like what I think Jim Brewer would look like drunk, like really in their face. He mumbles so hard that he sometimes like slurs his words. He's very hard to understand sometimes. Yeah, he rolls into town with a stolen car, picks up his waitress sister, and she has to practically beg him to go rescue his ex-girlfriend from this biker gang. I don't know why the police won't do it, but they won't. And he ends up meeting up with her manager boyfriend, Rick Moranis, and then he tries to get $10,000 to go rescue the girl. And then, honestly, dude, this is like, I love this scene, but it's so weird and funny where they like almost argue about like neither of them want to go get her, and neither of them like really give a shit about the money either. It's so fucking weird. So much of this film is like people just not wanting to go rescue this girl. Especially Tom Cody, who is apparently the only man with the skills to do it. But the actor and his performance and just the character of Tom Cody, like they get the fucking job done. It's like very bare minimum, but they do it, and it's like the one thing they can do, and that's fucking PBR, baby. PBR, it's just there to get you like a little toasty. It's just there, like it's not the best, but you know, clearly you can
very easy to drink. It's very easy to drink. I love it.
Yeah, and Tom Cody, you know, I don't really like him very much, but he's still fun to watch, and he makes me feel toasty.
Dude, I've never done a 4-ounce taster of PBR before. I need to try that.
Hey, you want a pro tip? It tastes like the can too, so you know you're not missing out. Tom Cody is PBR. There, I said it.
For my character, it's a little mishmash because it's an ensemble piece. Yes, Brendan Fraser is the main character, but I chose Liquid Gravity Brewing Company. It's a cold golden IPA called Cooler Than Cool, and the reason I chose that is because Chaz, who's played by Brendan Fraser, really thinks he's cool, but when you watch the movie nowadays, he's kind of just a schmuck. And the cooler people, Rex, played by Steve Buscemi, is cool but creepy cool. He's kind of like a creepy guy where like girls don't really dig him, but he's the coolest motherfucker in the room. And Pip, played by Adam Sandler, is the quiet, dumb cool. And they call him that several times in the movie because that was when Adam Sandler was young. Dude was ripped. Yeah. And like he was playing the drummer who's dumb, and just any chick just like gravitates towards him immediately. Yeah,
which is like extra funny, right? Because they're all pretty dumb.
Yeah, but he's like the dumbest. Dumb. He's the dumbest by far. Yeah. But the coolest guy in the movie, and I'm giving this beer to Ian the Shark, played by the legend Joe Mantegna. I love him. He's kind of the heart and soul of the movie, where they win him over by the end. He's the radio DJ, Ian the Shark here, guppies, or whatever he says. But the Lone Rangers are a bunch of idiots for the most part. But for some reason, we just want them to succeed because they're just lovable. And there's so much about this movie that's just lovable nonsense. And it's just such an innocent, fun romp with just great, colorful characters. And during a very odd part of my life recently, it just made me smile and it made me laugh. I'm going with Liquid Gravity. I got to find it. There it is. Liquid Gravity's Cooler Than Cool. Because who doesn't want to be as cool as Steve Buscemi, Brendan Fraser, Joe Mantegna, and Adam Sandler?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's actually very similar to the last one. I know they're both IPAs. I guess I taste a little bit of the difference in the golden IPA as opposed to a hazy IPA. I think this one's much stronger.
Very nice. So Walter Hill co-wrote and then directed Streets of Fire. I looked at his filmography. Man, that guy's done a lot of stuff over the years. And he's directed mostly like TV stuff. I will say this. He directed first episode of Deadwood, which is one of my favorite series.
I love that series.
Just picked it up on Blu-ray. Just got the movie on Blu-ray. It's great, right? So I will honestly say I probably would have never discovered one of my favorite shows if not for him doing a great first episode. That being said, he wrote Alien 3, a version of it, which I talked about recently on a Chug show. Guy's got chops. Guy's got talent.
He also did 48 Hours, right?
Yes, he did. In another 48. I wondered, being one of the people whose vision for Alien 3 was just maimed, I've always wondered if he might maybe felt prickly about that. Yes, we're punny. We're punny here at Fights and Flicks. So I got Shiner Prickly Pear by Shiner Bach, and I am pretty excited for this one.
I love Shiner Bach.
Yeah. This is a Shiner Bach brewed with prickly pear fruit and natural flavor added. You guys know, if you've seen a few episodes by now, I like to get something a little different sometimes, a little funky, a little flavor there.
I can't wait. Tell me what you think of this bad boy.
Mm. Wow, that's pretty good, man. Goes down real smooth, like real smooth, and has a little bit of like a floral flavor at the end. You know, it's good. I like it. It doesn't make me feel prickly. I'll say that. To Walter Hill.
It's funny that I didn't know this until I did my rewatch of Airheads that Michael Lehman is the director of the movie. And if people don't know who Michael Lehman is, he directed Heathers in 1988, which is one of the best sort of dark comedies involving teenagers. I don't know if that's like a kind of cut-off genre or whatever, but it was a very, very, very fun, dark, thought-provoking movie that made stars out of Christian Slater and Winona Ryder. Then he did the the underrated, legendary bomb, which is Hudson Hawk in 1991.
Nice.
But there's a lot of people, Ben, that say he didn't direct much of that because Bruce Willis completely took over the production of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then he did Airheads in 1994. And one of the things, Ben, that remains so strong as such a strong suit of his through all of his films is the soundtracks.
Yeah.
Heathers has an amazing soundtrack. Airheads has fucking Dim Stars, which is one of my favorite like collaborations between Sonic Youth and Johnny Thunder.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting collaboration, and they play a song in it, and it's really funny. After that, he went to a lot of TV, kind of occasionally far in between, did a couple of movies. Like he did like My Giant, which I never saw. He did 40 Days and 40 Nights with like Josh Hartnett in like 2002, I think. But he has been such an amazing television director. The Comeback, Big Love, Nurse Jackie, Dexter, True Blood, Californication. The dude has been all over the place with some of the best cable television shows ever made. And he did attend USC Film School.
Very nice.
Yeah, and he's from... The reason I chose the beer I chose is because he's from the San Francisco Bay, and a lot of beers that are made out there are made in Kern County, which is more closer to Sacramento, but you have your Santa Rosas and your Kern counties. A lot of beer, a lot of wine. So I've been looking forward to this beer, Ben, the entire fucking night. It's Kern County Brewing Company Raspberry Kettle Sour called Lovely. And I love a good sour, and this is going to obviously change my palate from 2 IPAs. So I'm very interested in trying this one. So
Very
here
nice.
we go with a Raspberry Kettle Sour. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Salivating. A good sour will make the roof of your mouth just like drip, you know? God damn, that's good. That's my favorite beer of the night so far. If anybody wants to check it out, that's damn good.
That looks good. That sounds real good, man. You mentioned his use of soundtracks, and something I really enjoy about Airheads is that film had the balls to have a Motorhead song and then also have a cameo with Lemmy at the end playing some.
Well, the Motorhead song is with
like
Ice-T, which is awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Born to Raise Hell. I love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Born to raise hell, born to raise hell. We know how to do it and we do it real well.
So remember how I said Cody's not the best guy?
Right.
So the background of these characters, and I shit you not, so 2 years before the film starts, about 2 years, right? They were dating, and basically she had hopes, dreams, and aspirations with her music, and he said, fuck that, and joined the army. He wanted to crush her dreams of being a star, so I got Sun Crusher by Revolution Brewing here in Chicago. It's 5.3% summer ale. Juicy, refreshing with radiant citrus notes. I'm going to try it now, and then I'm going to circle back to just destroying people's dreams. Which is a fun pastime, right?
Sun Crusher.
Oh, yeah. I could crush
Like
a
it?
couple of these suns. These are pretty good, man. It's got that citrus in there, and yes, crisp. Summer's ending. This is a nice one to have. So like I said, Cody just did not like. it's so weird, man. He basically had a problem with his girl, like pursuing her dream. I mean, that he more or less says it in the movie, uh, and uh, and he like there's that scene with Rick Moranis at the diner where they're almost arguing on who has to go get her and like who would take money to get her, which is weird because he actually was the one who started that entire thing. Yeah, he just it's amazing to me how many people love him because he's just such a fucking douchebag who crushes dreams, and that's why that's the theme that made me choose.
So the main character of your movie, and it revolves around the theme. He's our protagonist, but he just wants people to fail. Basically,
it's so fucking weird how unlikable he should be, and he is, but he's fun to watch. It's like so many other things about the film are amazing. Like the cast is amazing, the art design, the music, it's all great. And then right in the middle, you have this hero who is very okay at the role. But then that would be one thing. But they write him as such a fucking douchebag. Like I don't even get it. One of my favorite like running gags in the movie is he meets McCoy at the bar. McCoy is a woman and an ex-soldier. She has a really great scene where Bill Paxton's a bartender she punches out. Bill Paxton's fun to watch in this movie.
Wait,
too.
Bill Paxton in this movie? That should have been the headline.
I think I'm pretty sure I said that early on.
I don't think so.
So, anyways, but McCoy's an ex-soldier, and long story short, like the soldier, she is an ex-soldier, but also there's like kind of a euphemism for being a lesbian. I'm pretty sure. So the whole time, like the very like first like few moments they have together, like she's basically telling him she needs a place to sleep that night, yada yada. Like he's kind of saying how they'll probably sleep together, but he's not getting the fact that she's not into it, and it's like he's really fucking dumb. At the end of the movie, the singer's back, she's singing. She's going to stay with Rick Moranis, I guess, or really, honestly, Rick Moranis and Cody kind of come to that decision. And he has, his goodbye with her, his goodbyes with, whoever, with Rick Moranis. And then his sister just watches him leave through the crowd. He doesn't even say goodbye to his sister. But again, the rest of this movie is so good that it's just almost humorous watching Cody sometimes.
So for theme for me, I've had this beer before, so it's not, like Ben has had Pabst before. I chose Stone Brewery's Fight On IPA. Go Trojans! I'm a Trojan. I love that Stone made a pale ale, and this is not an IPA. It's a pale ale. The reason I chose it, the name Fight On spoke to me because even though the Lone Rangers are misguided, extremely stupid, and very hypocritical in a lot of moments of this movie, the theme is to fight for what you want in life. Again, they're doing dumb shit to get there, and I hope no one was ever influenced by their actions in this movie. But the whole movie is about people having a dream and doing whatever it takes to make it work. And to me, that's fight on. Fight on and make your dreams come true, even if you hold up a bunch of hostages with water guns filled with hot sauce. Really holds up well. If you're okay with watching like early to mid 90s movies, it still just holds up as one of those like really funny times at the movies. I love the theme. I would never hold anybody up to watch a short film I made, but I would definitely go to lengths to see that somebody was able to see what I made. And well, you don't have to anymore because now there's YouTube. This movie couldn't exist nowadays because now you can just put your music on YouTube.
Yeah, you made that joke about the radio station, but yeah, you're right. It's Spotify or whatever, but
I'm drinking it because I've had it before. I think it's a great pale ale. Stone knocks it out of the park all the time. Ben, I had another movie in mind, and I'm so glad I changed my mind and went with this one because it made me happy, it made me smile, it made me laugh. And your movie sounds like a comedy based on how you're talking about it, but I don't think it is.
This was my second time watching it, and I laughed much hard. Like going into it the first time, like I think I expected to take it more seriously, and then the second time I didn't, and it was funnier to me. Like I said, just the stuff with Cody was funnier to me because it's just like, who wrote this guy? You know, I mean, the director did, and I mean, he works well enough.
Walter Hill did, you mean?
Yeah. But again, the rest of it's just so good, especially in the music and the art design, that it's a fun movie. It makes me feel good watching it.
So Ben, out of your 4 for the movie Streets of Fire, what was your favorite beer of the 4 that you chose?
I'm trying samples again over here. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink more of that sour right now. It's so good.
Well, I liked all my beers, and I know I kind of gave PBR a hard time. Let me also add, in our last episode, I did have Miller High Life, and I felt that was an appropriate beer for my filmmaker, Peter Jackson.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And I feel like PBR is a very appropriate beer for
Cody.
Cody. But also doing a show about craft beer gets expensive, guys. So every once in a while, I'm going to throw in a cheap one. You just gotta go with it, okay? But I do like PBR. When I get to choose a cheap beer that I want to take home, I like PBR. It's pretty good. But because it's PBR, I'm going to pick something else. I'm going to go with the Shiner.
Wow,
Complete Pear, dude. I guess I'm starting to learn. I like funky drinks. I
love Shiner Bock. I just never heard of the
man,
prickly pear one, man.
A lot of times, this kind of stuff's my favorite beer. I'm starting to realize.
Wow, you dug that one.
With prickly pear fruit, dude, it's great, guys. It's 4.9%. Give it a shot.
So it's like a Budweiser, basically. Well, it's like a normal Shiner Bock, basically, like low alcohol.
Yeah, but it's that additional, like, kind of like floral flavor that really makes a difference. And guys, summer's coming to an end. This is like a really good summer beer. Get it while it's good, guys. And Streets of Fire too. I have it on 4K Steelbook. Maybe it's a Blu-ray. I don't remember, but it's good. Watch it.
And my favorite beer of the night, I don't think this is a surprise to anybody. It was the Kern County Raspberry Kettle Sour. This thing is fucking legit. I love it. Alcohol content, blah, blah, blah. I don't see anything. It's probably on there, but my room's kind of dark right now, so I can't tell. But anyway, it's wonderful. And if you like a good sour with a good berry, it salivates the roof of your mouth, which a sour's supposed to do. It's fantastic. And it's called Lovely from Kern County Brewery. I love it.
I like that we...
yeah.
I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry.
No, I was done.
I like that we both picked the kind of like fruity beers, if you will. You know? I'm
leaning more towards those these days, Ben.
I am too, man. Maybe it's getting older, but I'm
getting older. Yeah.
I will say this. I think we both picked some really fun, like, kind of zestful movies, and I think these 2 beers very much encapsulate that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah. I didn't get, like, that's why I'm so glad I went with Airheads instead of my other pick, was because I got to pick ones that were more fun and fruitful and just, laugh out loud type of stuff. I mean, not that these beers, I mean, they're going to make me laugh later the more I drink, but I'm so happy I went with my movie. I'm so happy you stuck with yours. And go see these movies, guys. Drink these beers. Go see Streets of Fire. Ben's pick. He made a great case based on all the beers that he chose. And Airheads, if people that didn't grow up in the 90s are watching this, I think you'll still think it's pretty damn funny, even if you don't get all the sensibilities and some of the fashion or whatever. It's a really, really, really funny movie. And if you don't know what a radio station is, you'll get a history lesson in that. Please leave some comments in the comment section below and tell us other Flights and Flicks episodes that you think we could come up with. We're always up for new ideas. This one was Ben's. I loved it. Thank you, sir, for picking it.
I hope our next episode's Joe Mantegna movies. But even if it's not, I want to say thanks for joining us. We're Cinema Gulp, and we rock your cinema.